Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis coming to you from the Drew Estate Studio. With me today is Jiunn Liu from the Box Press Studio, and from the Pastani Studio, John McTavish. How you guys doing?
All right.
Good day, y'all.
All right. So today we are talking about the Illusione Singularé Origin Corona Gorda. Cigar is 5 5/8 by 46. Comes out of the Agricola Ganadera Norteña factory in Nicaragua, which is better known as TABSA. Wrapper, binder, filler, all listed as Nicaraguan. Blended by Dion Giolito. Price point is $13.35, and the cigar was released in January of 2023. So with all that out of the way, June, what was your overall experience like with this cigar?
Overall, it's very average. So this is basically the same Agnor said pitfall within the last 3, 4 years, maybe. Yeah,
Sure.
it's been a while. So I feel like this is like the new taste profile of Aganorsa tobacco, which is it's either like really highly like acidic and mineral based, uh, or it's just like really spicy, with the same amount of like assault of minerals. So, you know, um, for this one, I got like highly mineral based, like medium full tannins. It's just it's so like raw, like it's not balanced. It's not it's like it's not gritty, but it's like raw and just like really in your face of all the minerals. It tastes very unbalanced as well. And probably for the first time ever, like I have zero wanting to buy the Singular, and all the prior Singulars, like I at least bought 5 packs of to try it, if not bought a box of. So, um, yeah. Sorry. Hello, AJ. Goodbye, Tafsa. Hello, AJ.
All right, John, what were your thoughts?
So this was a tale of two cigars for me, and I'll talk about the first tale, which was a really interesting flavor profile for me. Creamy bread, medium plus baking spices in the first third, vegetal and tannic cedar combination that didn't overwhelm the palate. And then the spices kind of backed off to medium, and it all kind of settled in the first third. So, enjoyable. Second third, kind of spices and sweet bread, a little bit of wood and creaminess, a little bit of mild tannic wood again, but really served as an anchor note or accent note. And then as the cigar progressed, that wood kind of became more prominent. Still did enough, I think, in the second third to be in the good category. And then by the last third, the profile still had bread, vegetal, and tannic wood, and it just kind of became a little disharmonious. And then some earthy, gritty character came through, a little bit of bitterness, and kind of fell apart. So for flavor profile, I was like, I enjoyed it. This was engaging. Unfortunately, the construction was just I don't want to say a disaster, but it's been a long time since I've scored this poorly for any cigar for score for construction, I should say. So first of all, the draw was quite snug, which is not a good sign. And usually for us, or at least my experience is, you can get bad burn but good draw, or bad draw and good burn. This had a really not a good burn. I'm looking to count the number of relights. So went out first third, second third, and last third. So three relights, basically one through each of the thirds, which I'm sure. So in my head, I was like, if I had to relight it, how good is a cigar if I didn't have to relight it? And so I want to try it again and see, what a one that doesn't have a draw problem, doesn't have a burn problem tastes like. Maybe it'll actually be not good, kind of like June's experience. But my takeaway was, despite the construction, this cigar was good. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, for me, the cigar started with toasted cedar, cinnamon forward, baking spice, and light mustiness. Baking spice quickly transitioned to black pepper. Second third saw some earthiness join in, and then the final third saw the cedar take on a young note, and the black pepper departed. I thought the cigar had a nice start, had a good combination of flavors, but by the second third, the enjoyment waned as the components were less vibrant and kind of maintained that level the rest of the way. Um, not really a cigar I'd see myself coming back to. The price point's not crazy, but it's still up there enough that kind of, makes me kind of shy away from it. And
What was the price point? Sorry.
1335 for Corona Gorda. So, it's
Oh.
kind of tough there, but maybe another Vitola to try it out. I'm not really sure. So, yeah, not the greatest experience. All right, so getting to the scores, we're going to start at the top with John at 5.87. I gave it a 5.75. Jiunn gave it a 5.3, and Seth, who wasn't able to join us tonight, gave it a 5 even. So, how'd that 5.87 match up for you, John?
I mean, I'm in a weird position where the flavor profile is not being held or not being lofted up by the construction. It's actually being held back. So flavor profile wise, I feel like this is in the low mid sixes, like a 6.45, 6.5.
Yeah.
But the construction is just such a disaster. So despite the fact it's $13 for Corona Gorda, I feel like I would buy this again and hope that the construction was better. So hopefully that
Yeah, my
answers.
5.75 matches up well, above average flavor profile. I did have a little bit of issues with the burn as well. It was wavy at times. Cigar went out once, required a relight. So somewhat similar. She's not as bad as you, but it did knock down the score a little bit. So, um, Singularé is a Halo brand, I think, for Illusione, right? And this just wasn't it, especially when you're trying to say origin. Like, this is the genesis of all this stuff. It's just not for me. All right, Jiunn 5.3.
Should have called it beta.
There you go.
Um, I mean, yeah, it's a very average score. I also have some minor burn issues. Not a big deal. Most of these like Tab Some Ace cigars have
Yeah.
some sort of, burn issues. Yeah, this is, yeah, so for all you guys out there that hear us bitch about how much we dislike Aganorsa Made Cigar now, I really hope that you get to try some of the stuff when, like, from back in the day, like when Arsenio was around and they were fucking beggars, those cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Any other final thoughts from you guys on this?
So I was I think I was pretty critical coming out of the last PCA about the packaging change. I think I'm starting to come around now because in that time
Yeah.
I've been to the States a couple times and I bought a bunch of Illusiones and I bought sort of the original package Illusiones and now sort of I'm seeing the new band and I'm like, you know what? It actually, I think for people who aren't nerds like us and haven't been smoking
Yep.
Illusione for more than 10 years, uh, it kind of makes a lot of sense. So when I look at the packaging, I'm like, no one would have been able to make heads or tails of this. And the packaging is clean, the font is easy to read. I had no issues differentiating the Illusione Habano with the Singularé Origin. It was crystal clear on the band, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially for smokers that are new to the brand, right? Like they don't have that kind of tie-in from the old packaging, so you don't know. But I don't want to put words in June's mouth, but it was Illusione was like an under the radar kind of like a cult type
Yeah.
of cigar, right? And when you got into it and like you didn't really care about what the bands looked like, right? Because the cigars were so good, and you were like, "Fuck, these bands are great." Like, I don't give a shit what you put on this cigar; it tastes fantastic. So like some super simple things like that, like
Yeah.
and you were smoking the cigars, right? But I understand the need for it, and I'm the same as you, John. When I first saw what they kind of looked like, I was like, whoa, this is like not good. And I thought it was kind of like dull and bland and stuff like that. But seeing these bands and having them in my hand and seeing that they do look pretty nice. So I could, like you said, I could see what they're going for, and that people that don't know the older style, there's
They
nothing
won't
for them
ever
to
know.
complain about really. And it's not like a bad band now. So it looks good, and I hope it's successful for them as it goes along.
It's almost like, to me, it almost seemed like perhaps a last ditch effort to
Right.
to try out, right? Because after you change packaging, there's really nothing else to do, right?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there is, you go to a different factory, which they have. But that's essentially the slow exit, I would say. I think it's going to be the beginning of the slow exit out
Yeah.
of TAPSA, which is great, right? Because at some point, hey, you got to have to pull the plug and say, hey, this just isn't working, right? And the people that
Yeah.
are telling us that our cigars are still amazing are fucking liars. So,
Yeah. All right, wherever you're catching this video, be sure to like and subscribe, but check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.
Singularé.